Auto Accident Help Desk is a marketing agency connecting callers with attorneys. Providers pay a fee for advertising services.
I love getting my kids ready and driving them to school.
But a careless driver can change your life in an instant, and insurance companies want to settle on the cheap. Auto Accident Help Desk connects victims with powerful lawyers. They fight for you.
I called Auto Accident Help Desk and got help for my pain and suffering.
Don't let an insurance company take advantage of you. Our attorneys fight and beat big insurance every day.
Call 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766.
If you've been injured in an automobile accident in the last 6 months, you owe it to yourself to make this free call with no obligation. We're available 24/7 to help you get the money you deserve for your pain and suffering. Auto Accident Help Desk helps accident victims like you every day.
Call 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we discuss the news and notes from the sports books and sports betting operators from around the country and Canada as well now, with the launch of single event sports betting in the country north of us. We got a whole bunch of different states reporting their numbers. We've got some legislative stuff to talk about. We've got a bunch of deals.
Now, are these all August numbers? Because I know some of the books like to report late, like Illinois. They're like 2 months behind.
Well, Illinois is one of the few that has not reported their numbers yet. So,
right. But for everyone else, this is August's numbers.
When we talk about the numbers, there'll be August numbers.
August numbers. All right.
But we're going to start off with welcoming the 27th state to legalize sports betting and launch sports betting as well.
Yes, Connecticut.
Welcome to the party.
Right.
On, I believe it was September 30th, Thursday, September 30th, the state launched its retail sports betting operations. Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, I believe it is.
I don't know which one is. One is in Uncasville. I'm not sure.
And Foxwoods is in Ledyard.
Okay, that's right. That's right. And really, they're like 10, 15-minute drive from each other.
Yeah.
So they're in the same neighborhood.
And I got to admit, I'm very curious to see the and I don't mean to play favorites here, but the Foxwoods Resort Sportsbook, they must have taken a little lesson from the Borgata setup, because the sportsbook that they opened, the temporary one, is right next to the ultimate race book in the casino.
Foxwoods has one of the best race books anywhere. I think it's one of the biggest I've ever seen. It's fun. It's
always an interesting time when you go do the race book at Foxwoods. Now you can also sports bet there as well now. As everyone knows, Foxwoods partnered with DraftKings. It's the DraftKings branded sports book there.
Yep.
Mohegan Sun partnered with FanDuel. They have the sports book. It's located in the Mohegan Sun Casino's Bow and Arrow Sports Bar.
I have no earthly idea where that is. I've been to Mohegan Sun several times. I have no idea where the Bow and Arrow Sports Bar is. Sports bar? Did they call it a sports bar?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Well,
I like Mohegan Sun. If anyone's never been there, they have a casino, and then it's like this area with shops, and they have a great Irish bar, too. I forgot the name of it, but they have a really good Irish bar there.
I have to admit, I love the ceiling in Mohegan Sun, where it's got some of the night sky up there. It's really well done.
I like Mohegan Sun better than Foxwoods. Foxwoods is bigger because it's huge, but
and they also have that huge bingo center too in Foxwoods.
But Mohegan Sun, I think, is a nicer looking casino.
Well, they had an official ribbon cutting ceremony on the 30th, and Governor Ned Lamont was the honorary first bet of the state's sports betting industry. He placed a $50 bet on the Connecticut Sun to cover the spread against the Chicago Sky.
That's WNBA.
Yep. Then he headed to the Rainmaker Casino side of Foxwoods, where DraftKings had their opening ceremony.
All right.
It actually kind of, after the fact, a lot of people were kind of scratching their heads at this, and I thought it was kind of funny because a lot of states, like when Golden Nugget first launched sports betting, they're owned by Fertitta.
Tillman Fertitta, yeah.
Who also owns the Houston Rockets.
Yes. We're not allowed to bet on the Houston Rockets.
Golden Nugget was not allowed to take any bets on any Fertitta-owned sports teams.
Yeah.
Houston Rockets. But here we have Mohegan Sun taking a bet on the Connecticut Sun.
Which, by the way, play at Mohegan Sun.
And is owned by Mohegan Sun.
So
I'm
a little bit of a controversy. I guess they're going to have to work that out and see how that goes.
A lot of the lawmakers said they'll address that in the next legislative session.
Fair is fair. I mean, if we can't bet on the Houston Rockets at the Golden Nugget, especially I was in New Jersey and I couldn't. There was Houston Rockets weren't even on the board. But it's.
It'll be interesting to see how they address
Connecticut does and what they address it.
I mean, right off the bat, their answer, the casino's answer was, well, FanDuel's running the sports book.
Okay, yeah.
So, right. Okay. I mean, I guess that's a good answer.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, it'll be interesting to see how. I guess the state legislature is going to take a look at that
in the next session. Yeah, okay. They said they're going to address that because it seemed to have gotten through the cracks there a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to tie a bow on it. $50 bet won. The Sun won.
So the governor won.
The governor won.
Wow, congratulations, governor.
So congratulations to Connecticut. They are the 27th state, plus you have D.C., so I guess 28th jurisdiction, I guess you want to call it that. Now 116 million Americans have access to legalized sports betting. So that's adding to the sports betting industry. Before we move on to some interesting numbers, I want to stay in Massachusetts to talk about what's going on with their sports betting.
Nothing's going on with their sports betting. Absolutely nothing is going on with their sports betting.
You can actually
did I tie a bow on that one?
You can actually make a case that Massachusetts just announced they're not going to have sports betting this year.
Well,
if you want to read into,
they're not going to have it next year either. By the
time,
no,
I think they're going to. I think they're going to have it next year. They got to have it next year. I mean, you have Connecticut now, Rhode Island, New Hampshire. I think Maine is closer to sports betting than Massachusetts right now. They're going to be surrounded and losing so much money.
The Encore Boston Harbor Casino, which is right outside of Boston, they just opened up the WinBet Sports Bar. They're hoping to make that into a sports book. They even have the windows ready. I saw pictures of it. They have windows ready for them to take bets, but still, the state is dragging its feet.
Well, you also have MGM Springfield. They're building 2 sports bars. One of them's going to be the sports book.
Yeah, absolutely.
So everyone's ready to go.
They could start next week if you just they can train people to take bets, and boom, they can start next week.
And if you think about it, you also have the slot parlor, Plainridge.
Plainridge, yeah.
They just had 2 representatives of the state introduce legislation to try and expand that, so they have more table games.
Which, by the way, they're Penn National, which also means Barstool Sports.
And if you've been to Plainridge lately, you will see Barstool symbols everywhere.
Sure.
So, and they have this one place in the middle. It used to be the Flutie Sports Bar or whatever the hell.
Well, I'm not sure if that's completely closed or that's just going to reopen.
It's still
I'm not
currently
sure
closed.
What it is.
So
who knows what that's.
But let me tell you something. The way that is set up, that's a beautiful sports book because it's got the wall of video. Every other sports
but like
book.
I said, if Flutie's still there, it's still the restaurant.
But what I want to hit was what the Senate president told reporters. Karen Spilka, the Senate president for Massachusetts, told media outlets that the chamber won't consider sports betting this year unless it determines that it has the bandwidth.
I don't even know what that means.
Kind of a weird choice of words. I mean, bandwidth.
It's a really weird statement.
It's one of those things where she's got her own priorities, and she wants to focus on the election reforms that are going on in the state, redrawing of political district lines, which seems to be a very hot topic up there.
Sure.
So there's a whole bunch of different things she wants to hit before she even starts talking about sports betting. She also made an interesting comment. She doesn't feel Massachusetts needs the extra money.
Okay, well, whatever. I don't know what they're thinking, but I think it's going to be a couple years for Massachusetts.
I don't know. I hope.
I think so.
I hope it's been getting closer and closer and closer. I mean, I remember, what was it, earlier this year we were talking about,
I know the governor wants
14 different bills.
Yeah, I know the governor wants it.
The governor came out, had his own bill.
He wants it there. But so now around Massachusetts, there's to the north is New Hampshire. They have sports betting. To the
possibly
south,
Maine next year.
Well, I'm just saying who has it right now. New Hampshire has it right now. Rhode Island has it right now. Connecticut has it right now. You know how much money Massachusetts is losing?
And if you want to even throw in, you're going to have, like I just said, Maine possibly, but you also have New York State, which is on the other border of Massachusetts, the western border.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So they're going to be surrounded.
Well, New York has sports betting, too. I mean, they have retail sports betting. So,
that's all the way on the other side of the state. I'm talking about once they get that mobile sports betting going, which, by the way, looks like it may not be ready by this football season, may not even be ready by Super Bowl. They may be going at light speed, but we'll see exactly when they get that. That's going to be an interesting state to watch once they have that.
My point is Massachusetts is losing huge sums of money by their citizens going out of the state to place a bet.
Massachusetts is surrounded by sports betting, and they need the money too. I don't care what she said.
They're an oasis of stupidity. That's what they are.
Before we leave the launching of industries here, remember how we always talk about Mississippi not having mobile sports betting?
Yeah.
They now have mobile sports betting.
All right. Great.
Sort of.
What's that mean? You have to be on the property?
The Gold Strike Casino Resort in Tunica, Mississippi now offers mobile sports betting on their property.
Okay. See, I get that.
BetMGM is now live in Mississippi.
That's amazing how they do that. The geolocation has come such a long way since New Jersey started with the online casinos in 2013, I think it was. But where it was, the geolocation was a mess. I always told the story where in one room of my house I can play online in New Jersey, but another room of my house I couldn't play online in New Jersey. Right now the geolocation technology is such where they can pinpoint where you are, and there's absolutely no problems with it. So, yeah, good. But it's a good step for Mississippi, though.
Well, I hope we're going to start seeing a lot more of this, because Mississippi is one of the last holdouts for sports betting. They just have retail only. This is the first mobile. I'm wondering when they're going to have the inclination to expand it outside.
Can you technically call it? I guess technically you can call it mobile, but it's not. You have to be on the property. I mean, you can't sit from your couch at home.
Well, you can be in your hotel room.
Well, you can be. Well, yeah, but you have to be on the property.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, if you're out, running around Mississippi, you just want to place a bet
around Mississippi, just tooling around Mississippi.
Just tooling around Mississippi, you might want to do that. So, one other little announcement regarding upcoming sports betting launches: Baltimore's Horseshoe Casino announced that their first floor of the building will be converted into a next-level entertainment environment. Sportsbook branded by the recently launched Caesars Sportsbook, as well as a new brew pub.
Wow, they use these marketing terms that I love. What was it called? Entertainment what?
Entertainment environment.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's basically a...
You're going to get a sportsbook and a bar.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
You're getting that.
Well, it's on the gaming floor.
I know.
So, kind of interesting. So, we'll see what happens.
You got to sell it.
It's another one of those states where they're getting ready closer and closer to a launch, which is cool to see.
Yep.
Let's go back to some of the numbers that we teased at the beginning of the segment here. We had Nevada, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Tennessee all release their August numbers. Kind of some interesting little tidbits from each state. First of all, the online handle in Nevada was almost 70% this month. And
it's very good for Nevada.
You don't normally see that. I mean, you were seeing it during the pandemic because the casinos were closed and you couldn't go to the sports books. But 70% in a normal open casino environment, that's kind of interesting for Nevada. I'm wondering if more and more people are getting used to the mobile betting there, or is it the influx of visitors using the mobile betting?
Well, it's vacation time, so this is August, right? There's a lot of vacations there, and so people probably are trying it out. So,
well, going back over to the East Coast, we had Rhode Island and New Hampshire both released their numbers for the month of August. Kind of interesting win rate here for Rhode Island. The August win rate of 4.7%. That's what the sportsbooks held on to. It's also called the hold. The August 4.7% win rate on gross gaming revenue for Rhode Island in August was the first monthly sub 5% hold in any state since the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And actually, Rhode Island was one of the ones that had a sub 5% hold rate for the Super Bowl.
So does that translate into Rhode Island bettors are smarter? You know, they're the sports books in Rhode Island aren't keeping their money; they're paying out big bets.
Well, it could go. You know, you could look at it either way. I mean,
I always think it that
month.
way.
It was a slow month.
I know it's a slow month, but some bettors made some wise bets, and Rhode Island sportsbooks didn't hold on to their money.
Well, if you want to look at it from the revenue side, they had a 65% decrease in their revenue from July to August. Yeah. So if you want to make the case they have smarter bettors, go for it.
Well, and
I would not make that case.
In August, it's less bets too as well. But maybe the bets they took were really good ones for the bettors.
And over in New Hampshire, or up in New Hampshire from Rhode Island, the New Hampshire revenue for the month of August broke their 5-month streak of $3 million plus in revenue every month. They had 5 months straight of $3+ million.
Well, look, August is a slow month. The Red Sox had their collapse in August, so they weren't a smart bet for New Englanders during that month. So maybe everything kind of settled down up there.
One last note regarding the sports betting numbers for August. We have on the national scene, and this is without Illinois reporting their numbers, so take this one with a grain of salt. New Jersey led August with an overall handle of $664.7 million. Nevada was second with $427.4 million. Then you have Pennsylvania, Indiana, and Michigan rounding out the top 5.
Isn't this a typical lineup every month? It seems like this is kind of like every month. It's New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Michigan.
Well, Michigan's kind of new.
I'm waiting for Michigan to overtake Pennsylvania.
Well, you got to wait to see exactly where Illinois falls in all this too. So Illinois is consistently at least 30 days late compared to these other states in releasing their monthly numbers. So this is without Illinois reporting their numbers. Again, there is a big gap between New Jersey. Then you have Nevada and Pennsylvania. They're always close to each other.
Yeah, it's almost like a $200 million gap between New Jersey and Nevada.
I'm waiting for Pennsylvania to consistently beat Nevada because it seems to be coming.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's edging closer to Nevada.
So those are
It would be interesting to see New Jersey, Pennsylvania as the top 2 one of these months.
I think you're going to start seeing New Jersey, Illinois at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And if some of these other states come in, New York is going to be interesting to watch.
New York, when they get mobile, that's going to be a monster.
And we still got Florida coming.
Yep.
I mean, their retail sports betting is still scheduled to start October 15th, but the online is the one that's being sued upon, and they just had a new lawsuit filed there, so there's going to be further delays with that online sports betting launch, I think. But again, Florida should be interesting to watch in terms how good their retail sports betting industry is going to be, because you're going to be launching soon.
Yeah.
They're going to get at least half a month of October here.
And you know what? They're a warm weather state, so you're going to get vacationers down in the wintertime, and they're usually go to the retail book. So, they should make a dent in the national market.
Well, let's move on to some deals that we have had the past week here. I'll tell you, even if it was a slow week in the sports betting industry, it's still a ton of deals to talk about. And it's kind of weird when it feels slow, but it's not. And I think that's probably going to be the case moving forward here, because a lot of I think at the beginning of the football season, there was a lot of frenzy.
Yeah.
And now it's starting to calm down again. Maybe you get used to a little bit of a bump in the activity, but there's still a ton of stuff to talk about. First of all, congratulations to Joe Asher. He is now the president of sports betting for IGT.
Yes.
Asher was the head of William Hill US before that company was sold to Caesars. He left, and now he is running the sports betting division for IGT. IGT has that Play Sports platform.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see where he takes IGT now, because he is one of the best in the business.
Sure.
Speaking of other deals, we have BetMGM making a couple deals. We have BetMGM bringing on mixed martial arts journalist Ariel Helwani as their brand ambassador. He's going to be doing everything MMA for them, content-wise. And they did another partnership with a podcast network, which is kind of interesting, sort of outside the box. They did a content partnership with comedian Bill Burr and All Things Comedy, which is his comedy podcast network.
Okay.
You wouldn't think about it, but it's kind of an interesting idea. They're doing a podcast called Anything Better.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So, they're going to be doing that, and they're going to have a Monday morning podcast and their YouTube channel incorporating BetMGM branded spots and commercials, all that stuff.
Great.
FanDuel announced a market access deal with the Port Madison Enterprises to operate sports betting in Washington State. Retail Sportsbook is going to be opening this fall. Online sports betting following whenever the regulations allow.
Great.
This is interesting. Gambling.com just announced their first ever sports betting ambassador.
Okay.
They did a deal with former NFL Pro Bowl defensive end Sean Merriman.
Huh, okay.
He's going to be doing sports betting picks and analysis for them throughout the NFL season. Yeah, I haven't heard from Sean Merriman in a while.
No. Wow.
And I actually had a chance to read his first column.
Okay.
And very good. Very, very good information regarding some of the sports betting stuff.
Okay.
Going over to MaximBet. MaximBet did an interesting deal.
I have yet to take a look at MaximBet. I've been hearing about it constantly these last couple of weeks. So, are they live in Jersey and stuff?
No.
Okay, maybe that's why I'm not hearing.
They are live in Colorado. They have market access everywhere in another 5 states.
Okay.
So, but in Colorado, they made an interesting offer here. This deals with the name, image, likeness stuff going around with college sports lately.
Okay.
They are offering all female student athletes at Division I, II, and III colleges and universities in Colorado a name, image, and likeness deal that rewards them with cash, invitations to parties, merchandise, all for MaximBet.
Wow. Okay.
So that was kind of
good.
I'm waiting to see more sportsbooks do something like this. I'm wondering why they haven't been doing this. I mean, Colorado's, they had university do a deal with PointsBet, but no one's done the NIL deals yet, other than MaximBet. Maybe because of the magazine, they're thinking outside the box kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea.
And one last note to talk about before we get out of here for the week. The Chicago Bears have entered into an agreement to purchase Arlington Park from Churchill Downs.
Wow, okay.
As everyone knows, they want a new field, basically. Mm-hmm. They play at Soldier Field right now.
Yep.
Arlington Park is almost 20 times larger than Soldier Field.
Really? I didn't know it was that big.
The overall park itself.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I didn't know it was that much bigger. I know it was bigger, but I didn't know it was that much bigger.
The deal is worth $197.2 million. And the reason they did this deal is because of sports betting. They're not getting any traction for getting any kind of sports betting at Soldier Field. So they want out of Soldier Field.
Huh,
it's a new facility. It's got sports betting attached. Remember, they just did that deal with Rivers Casino, where Rivers Casino is not only the official casino, but it's also the official sports book of the team. Mm-hmm. Rivers already has deals in place with Arlington Park.
Okay, all right.
So there's a little connection right there. And also Churchill Downs has a majority stake in Rivers Casino anyway. So that kind of explains a lot of the maneuvering going on there. The Bears still have to deal with their lease with Soldier Field. The Soldier Field lease doesn't expire till 2033.
Oh, okay.
So, but in 2026, they can do a one lump payment of $84 million to get out of it.
That's probably what they're going to do if they're really serious about this.
So we'll see exactly what happens with that. One last note before we get out of here. Betfred announced a partnership with an online entertainment network called The Game Day.
All right.
I have to go check this out because I was not familiar with The Game Day. It's a network with 2 shows ride with and take the points.
Okay.
So betting shows that are going to be sponsored by Betfred Sports.
I just saw a new betting show last night called Betting Exchange in the New York market. So they're playing off.
Is that off MSG? Or?
I think it was MSG. I think it was. It was. They played off the stock exchange. They had a section called the portfolio and what do you call it? And things like that. They wanted to play off the stock exchange kind of motif.
Well, NASDAQ's getting into it, especially with that deal they did with Sport Trade.
Yep.
Which, by the way, is a betting exchange. So that's another term for
betting
that.
Exchange, a new show in New York.
Well, that's it for this week. There's plenty of other stories to talk about. We've got the print version of the Turnpike Sports Book Report coming up on the blog after this show is released. Just head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com and click on the blog button, and you'll see the full stories of what we just talked about, as well as a lot of stories we did not have a chance to talk about this week. So
yes, it's on Doug. By the way, it's on MSG networks.
MSG,
so, yes.
All right. Who's the any sportsbook sponsor for it?
I didn't see a sportsbook sponsor for it. It's
wouldn't be surprised if it's NASDAQ.
A former Jet was doing it. I can't remember the name of the former Jet. So what? Is it Coleman?
Eric Coleman?
Eric Coleman, yep, that's it. Eric Coleman, former Jet, is on Betting Exchange. It was a pretty good show.
Well, he's actually pretty good on camera.
He is very good. Well, that'll do for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.